So we have established that there will be 7 no movement days. And these will be Sunday, August the 22nd, Monday, August the 23rd, Tuesday, August the 24th, Sunday, August the 29th, Monday, August 30th, Tuesday, August 31st, and Sunday, September 5th. So we want to digest that a bit. No movement days means just that. On those days, the curfew hour would be 24 hours. The entire day. No movement on that day for those 7 days. And let me repeat. So this coming Sunday, the 22nd, no movement on that day. Stay home, get some rest, spend it with your family, call up your family members in the country, overseas, do some work around your yard. If you find something to occupy your time at home. Worship online. On Monday, August the 23rd, no movement day. Tuesday, August 24th, no movement day. This is not a holiday. No movement on that day. But it doesn't mean that you should not be working from home. So we are expecting you, as many of you who can work from home, to continue to be productive, to do your work at home. Then the following Sunday, August the 29th, that's a no movement day. The following Monday, after that Sunday, no movement day, and that would be August 30th. And then Tuesday, August the 31st, that's another no movement day. And then Sunday, the 5th of September, no movement day. The objective is that we are giving the Ministry of Health two periods of no movement that will effectively break the transmission of the virus. Now, this is what we hope will happen. But if people decide that they're not going to follow the advice and direction of the government and decide that they're going to go about their business, and all of this would be in vain. Worst of all, it would be in vain for those who follow the orders, because they would have made the sacrifice for it only to be destroyed by those who don't follow. So this works if everyone cooperates, and I'm appealing for everyone to make these no movement days a success. But we know our Jamaican family, and we know that there are some people who don't care and who say it don't affect them. So, very selfishly, they will be going about their own business. For them, the police will be on the road, and they have been given clear instructions to enforce these no movement days. Now, the normal curfew hours, which would then apply to the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday following these no movement days, will be 7 p.m. nightly until 5 a.m. the following morning on days other than no movement days, except Saturday, which will be at 6 p.m. I hope I'm clear with that. So the days following the no movement days, which would be the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, would be 7, and then the Saturday would be 6, which is what obtains now. However, to allow persons to prepare for the 3 consecutive no movement days on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, that is from August 22nd to 24, we will start the curfew later tomorrow, Friday, August 20th, and Saturday, August 21. So we understand that the lead time is short, and when we tighten the hours, as would be expected, everyone is going to shop in a precautionary way. Let me get an extra this and an extra that, and let me go to the supermarket, even if I don't have to, just to be sure. And so you will have some congestion on the road as everybody tries to get home or try to get the last minute supplies. So we have considered that, and we have extended, but just for this Friday and Saturday, we have extended the hours to allow persons to be able to stock up for the no movement days. So tomorrow, Friday, August 20th, the curfew will begin at 9 p.m. and on Saturday, August 21st, the curfew will begin at 8 p.m. So to be clear what this means, on Saturday, August 21st, the curfew will begin at 8 p.m. and continue through the rest of Saturday, the entire day on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and end at 5 a.m. on Wednesday, August 25th. This will be repeated the following week, starting at 6 p.m. now on Saturday, August 28th. Also, to allow persons to prepare for the 3 consecutive no movement days, tomorrow, Friday, August 20th, and on Friday, August 27th, workplaces, businesses will be required to close at midday. Our workplaces or businesses will, there are some workplaces and businesses, that will not have to close at midday, and these are the courts. They can remain open to their normal working hours. Establishments providing the following services: security services, financial services, our banks and other such services, transportation services, obviously health services, including pharmacies, optical and dental establishments, the National Water Commission, the JPS, oil refining, loading, distribution, and retail of petroleum, our gas stations and so forth. They will remain to their normal opening hours within, of course, for gas stations within the curfew hours. Public works and sanitation, firefighting, civil aviation, telecommunications, and obviously food. Supermarkets and wholesale stores and corner shops, they can remain open until the curfew hour. The loading and unloading of ships, storage and delivery of goods and docks, wharves, warehouses, etc. Those are critical to the continuation of the supply chain. And those critical to the operations of the government, including the TAJ, for those who don't know, the tax authority, the Jamaica Customs, PICA, the Jamaica Printing Services, etc. Obviously, funeral homes would remain open, farm stores, and the BPO sector. Now, despite the extended curfew hours, we want the vaccination program. It's very important. Despite the no movement days and the extended curfews, we want the vaccination program to continue. Certain vaccination sites will remain open during curfew hours and on no movement days. Persons with appointments to receive a vaccine will be allowed to do so during curfew hours. Persons will be required to present evidence of the appointment. They can show their text message if they get one, or the email. If they're going for their second shot, they can show that their vaccination card. Obviously, this is not a wholesale extension. Your direction of travel must be going to a site. The police will know where the sites are, obviously. And you can't tell the officer at 8 p.m. that you're going to the vaccination site that closes at 4. All students who will be going to schools to get vaccinated on no movement days should have the messages that their schools would have sent them and their school IDs as proof that they're going to be vaccinated. So to be clear, on no movement days, persons will be allowed to seek urgent medical attention, and those who have overseas travel or are coming into the country can make their way to and from the airport. Essential services will still be operational, and in this group, I would include our fisher folk, our farmers, persons at critical factories and the BPOs, and those involved in the maintenance of infrastructure of the financial services, and of course our friends in the media. But I remind those persons employed to essential services who must move on the no movement days to ensure that you have on your person your work ID to present to the police. And even in this group, those persons who can work from home should do so and only travel if necessary. And a very important point, those persons who are allowed to move on no movement days must be moving for the purpose for which the exemption was granted, for the purpose of their job. So, heading in the direction of a beach and saying you are a, and by the way, don't tell the policeman that you're a lifeguard, because the beaches are closed. So it is for the purpose of your work. Last time I was asked a question about the ENDS program. As a reminder, ENDS, that is the e-commerce national delivery system. This has been going very well. We have over 50 registered online vendors, businesses and delivery operators registered on the ENDS system will be able to operate after curfew until midnight on no movement days. Work from home. Again, this question came up, and I had mentioned that we will undertake a review of this work from home policy, but in the interim, the existing work from home directive in the public sector is being extended until September 7th, 2021. Permanent secretaries and heads of agencies are directed to strictly ensure that only persons who work in critical service delivery and the nature of the work requires that the job functions be performed at the physical location at the office. For the private sector, I'm issuing a strong appeal to employers to ensure only persons who cannot work from home to come to the workplace, and obviously this would be during the movement days. Places of worship. On Sunday, August 29 and Sunday, September 5th, places of worship will be allowed to have 20 persons physically present in the church. Persons who leave home on these days, these 2 Sundays, will have to carry on them their ID, obviously. But you would recall in a previous order that we had gazetted a form which we agreed with the churches, which would have the names of the persons who are allowed to travel during the curfew hours to go to church in order to allow for the transmission of online services. And so we will return to that model. Churches are already familiar with it. We weren't able to give the churches the usual notice to the various church bodies, and we apologize for that, but because we had to take these measures. But what we decided to do was to ensure that the measures that we're putting in place are not new or unfamiliar. So this is a measure that the churches would be familiar with. Please note, however, that the Sunday movement for worshippers will not be allowed for this Sunday. So this Sunday, the first of the no movement days, it will be a strict no movement day. So the measure of the gazetted form will not apply on this Sunday, and we are not expecting that there would be any persons traveling at that point. Now, gathering limit. The general public gathering limit remains now at 10. People get confused sometimes what is the gathering limit. For things that are not necessarily considered events, organized events, no more than 10 persons should be in a group in close proximity with each other. And that's usually probably the size of a household or so. But if you go to the bus stop and you see more than 10 persons there, in your mind, as a person who is conscious about what is happening, you should put some distance between yourself and that group of 10. That's the idea. Because the larger the group in close proximity, the higher the risk of transmission. And that's why when the risk of transmission is high, then we reduce the numbers that are gathering. This is a very useful guide for you as a citizen. That in addition to wearing your mask, in addition to maintaining your 6 feet apart, and in addition to sanitizing your hands, also pay attention to the number of persons gathered. Obviously, if you're going onto a bus, there might be more persons on the bus. But again, you take your precaution. If you're going into a room, you want to make sure no more than 10 persons. And that's the gathering rule. And it is very limited now because the transmission rate is high. For places of worship, no more than 20 persons, as we have said, should be within the place of worship. Of course, no crusades, conferences, and conventions, etc. will be permitted. No more than 20 persons will be permitted to physically attend a wedding. Again, I apologize to all those who would have made plans. Some persons have said thank you, though. Persons physically attending annual or extraordinary general meetings will be restricted to 20 persons. Of course, no physical attendance at any event hosted by the government will be permitted, and this will start as of next Wednesday. In terms of funeral services, no funeral services will be allowed during the period August 25th to September 7th, 2021. You'll recall that we had allowed funeral services in the church. We're going to restrict that now, so there will be no funeral services in the church. We're not going to go to the extreme that we had to do in March, where we had prohibited burials. So burials between August 25th and September 7th, 2021 will be allowed, but a maximum of 15 persons will be allowed at the burial, including mourners, officiating clergy, grave diggers, and undertakers. You will recall that we had increased that number to 30. We're reducing it now to 15. As a reminder, burials will be allowed only on Mondays to Fridays, and just to be clear, excluding no movement days. So technically, you could only have funerals between this period on Wednesday to Friday. And again, for those who have made plans, we apologize and we ask you to just bear with us. And of course, this is the funerals are allowed between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And the time for each burial is 30 minutes. So, in conclusion, the tighter measures we have introduced are necessary because of our rising case numbers and hospitalizations, and these are beyond the capacity of the health system to manage. I urge all Jamaicans to cooperate and to do their part. we all need to work together as one family to get this third wave under control so that we can start the reopening of our schools.
To the Prime Minister at a press conference this evening, and he did make some announcements. Among the most important will be that there will be 7 no movement days, and these will be Sunday, August 22, so that's Sunday coming, Monday, August 23, Tuesday, August 24, then Sunday, August 29, Monday the 30th, Tuesday the 31st, and then on Sunday, September 5. So those will be no movement days, 7 days. So you'll have 3 consecutive days, which will be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday, just Saturday will be allowed movement, and then the other week, again, picking up at the 29th, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then that goes back again to Sunday, September 5, which will be the final no movement day. And he says the objective was to break the transmission of the virus. On the other days, the curfew hours will remain the same, 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. And on Saturday, it will be 6 p.m. However, this Friday, the curfew will be at 9 p.m. and on Saturday, 8 p.m. to allow persons to prepare for the no movement days. And of course, 3 consecutive no movement days coming up. And he had also asked workplaces to close at midday to allow people to do their preparation for the 3 days that people will not be allowed to move. Obviously, there are going to be some groups, some critical area or essential workers that will be allowed to move on those days, and those individuals must have their identification with them. But he's also saying where people can work from home, that should be done. Places of worship, no more than 20 people. Should same number for weddings. No funeral services will be allowed in the church. Burials between Sunday, August 25 and September 7, 15 people, including the mourners, undertakers, clergy. So essentially, burials can only take place Wednesday to Friday, because the other days, of course, will be no movement days, and each burial should last 30 minutes. So those are what the announcements from the Prime Minister.